is Jason, the founder and moderator of freecpapadvice.com and the forum that accompanies. So sometimes I like to peruse the questions, and when I get, well, actually I peruse the questions a lot, but sometimes there's one that I haven't, I actually get great video ideas, and this happens to be one that I have not done. So what the concern is this right here. Does anyone know if a steady pressure setting is better than a range? So what they're talking about is an auto titrating CPAP. Is that better than a straight CPAP pressure of, say, 10, and your machine stays on 10 centimeters of water pressure all night long? Or is it better to have a range of, say, 8 to 12 in the same person, just for argument's sake? Outstanding question. So here's my thoughts, and I have a lot of thoughts, but not a lot of them are really great. So this is the tough thing. Pretty much what I answered was it really depends on the person. I personally tend to think that someone who is this is in general. I'm trying to boil this down as much as I can. Someone who's really sensitive to high pressures, but needs a different amount of pressure, like maybe while sleeping on their side or while sleeping on their back. Most people will need more pressure while sleeping on their back. Not everyone, but a lot of people will need more pressure while sleeping on their back. And the person is sensitive to pressure, like high pressure. Well, an APAP in their situation would be great. Also, someone who responds really well to the CPAP pressure. And by this, I mean their airway tends to be a little more pliable and easy to be moved by air. So if you get someone that kind of has that, like what I call a stubborn airway, I don't think APAP is probably the best choice. I think you almost have to stick with a straight CPAP pressure. And the reason I say this is what we're dealing with is machines. These machines aren't really great at picking up the subtle events, mostly because it's difficult. If you have a clear breathing stoppage or clear breathing cessation, that's pretty easy to say, okay, yeah, we're going to need more pressure if it looks like it's an obstructive apnea. And then a machine can also tell by way of, well, I'll tell you in a minute, you can, like the clear airway apneas or central apneas, it sends either a little puff of air in, or it does the oh man, what's it called? On the ResMed machine, it'll do the forced oscillation technique. So you'll see those really quick, bumpy lines, and that's kind of trying to stimulate you to breathe. Or with the Respironics units, you'll see like a little spike, and that's called a pressure pulse. So different ways of trying to accomplish the same thing, but in doing so, it can tell you if it's central or obstructive. Think of like a sonar ping. It's kind of like what it does. So anyway, it has pretty sound methodology and ways of finding out if it's an obstructive apnea or a central apnea, and then it can increase or decrease the pressure accordingly. But when you're talking about a RERA, usually it will call it a flow limitation. There's no EEG, so it can't say it's a RERA. So oftentimes it'll just kind of let you sit there and have RERAs all day long and call you good. Then you wake up feeling like crap, and then you post on the forum and say, I'm sleeping like crap. My AHI looks great. Why is that? And you can see we're right here answering that. So if it looks like on your sleepyhead report you're having a ton of these little increases and decreases in pressure, or I'm sorry, in your breathing, probably RERAs, especially if you're waking up feeling like crap. Probably a good idea to go with a fixed pressure or talk to your doctor about it. Also, some people, when they first start using any kind of PAP therapy, you're given the option to use an APAP. And I think an APAP at the beginning is a great idea because you can see sometimes it'll increase more than what the technicians thought you needed in the lab, and they don't really jive. And so in that respect, I think that adjustable or APAPs, auto CPAPs are better. But then, in general, later on when you figure out what pressure is best, it may be a good idea to stay in that area, or at least have your CPAP minimum pressure be your ideal pressure, so that if you start to have events, it can increase from there. But so just basically so it can't go lower and let you have these respiratory effort related arousals, because those are no good. And you know what? Look at this. I'm getting mocked by old Crappy here. Hey, Crappy. Okay, you know what? Time to break out the Legos. Okay, just because I've made a couple dozen Lego videos does not mean that I like to play with Legos. You know what? I was going to do a Lego video on this, but you sucked out the fun by putting this comment. So no Legos for you, sir. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this. If you have any questions about your CPAP therapy or sleep in general, go ahead and post it here. Free CPAP advice. freecpapadvice.com/forum, or you can always visit our website, which is here, freecpapadvice.com. Yeah, look, oh yeah, awesome. I have Legos all over the place. The other thing you can do, you can check out mask reviews here. We have all kinds of stuff. Our lovely CPAP and sex video, which has been oh so popular. You can look at tutorials on what breathing events are. You can also visit our YouTube channel. Hopefully find something you didn't even know you wanted to know about. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this and learned something. Again, this is Jason, and